When you start dropshipping as a beginner, there's literally 10,000 different mistakes that you can make. Some of them you need to make to become successful, but most of them you can actually avoid by just knowing what to look out for. In this video, I'm gonna go over the most common mistakes that all beginners make, and it's time to put an end to this to make you more money and get you closer to success fastest. And just so you can be confident that I actually know what I'm talking about, this is one of my stores, and I even have multiple of these stores. This is not even my only store. So with that said, I think you can kind of trust what I'm about to tell you. The first mistake is beginners do stupid shit. But to explain what stupid shit actually means is that you always jump from strategy to strategy. After 1 week, something didn't work. 2 weeks, something didn't work. You do something new. You do Facebook ads, TikTok ads, organic. Then you do service-based business. Then you do faceless YouTube. Then you do some other stupid shit. When in reality, all you have to do is focus. That's how you make things work. I would say that realistically, if you're testing out something, you would minimum spend 3 months to test it. And I would say that's the bare minimum before you can even make the decision to do something differently. And even then, I wouldn't do anything very drastically differently. Maybe if you're doing Facebook ads and the first 3 months you're testing with one strategy, I would probably just do a little bit different strategy. So maybe you could do a market switch, you could do different type of products, you could do different age group where it's very still the same business model, but just a little bit different. But in theory, you shouldn't change anything before it works. That's my best advice. But it's not always about just switching strategies and business model. It's also just doing random shit day to day. So focusing on weird shit that doesn't have anything to do with you right now. So for example, watching YouTube videos on how to scale your product, how to brand your product, how to do all sorts of very advanced stuff, and something that you have no idea of when you will even be able to implement because you're not at that level yet. That is also what I mean by stupid shit. You shouldn't also be doing that. You should just focus on what's in front of you, and that is find a product, launch the product, scale. That's it, okay? So first find a winner, and then we can talk about other things. And also a lot of you guys out there right now, which also I did, is watching motivational videos. And that is the most stupidest shit I've ever heard, watching motivational videos. Of course, once a week, twice a week, when you're doing something on your computer anyways, put on a video with some kind of motivational speak. But besides that, it's not productive. It's not gonna make you more money. It's not gonna make you better doing your job. It's a waste of time. The second mistake that every beginner does, and still do, and have always done, is thinking they know it all after they have watched 5 YouTube videos about dropshipping. And let me tell you right now, by watching YouTube videos, you will never even be able to learn the full aspect of dropshipping, let alone everything about dropshipping. Because trust me, even after $10 million plus revenue, and making millions of dollars in profit, I don't know everything. There's literally, I learn new stuff every single week. I speak with some guy who's a little bit better than me, more advanced than me, or even just a guy who's been in the game longer than me. I probably made more money than him, but he knows more than me. So you will never learn everything. I haven't still, and I will probably never will. The best scenario when you're starting out, and this is my best advice, okay? You find one person that you listen to, and that's the only person you listen to. Ideally, of course, should be somebody with knowledge. You can choose me. I can't really help you too much because I can only do my YouTube videos. I don't really do any coaching. In theory, it should be somebody with a coaching, a mentorship, a community where you get access to the actual strategy that they are doing day to day and have the ability to ask them questions. That's the most powerful tool. So ideally, if you want to choose somebody, make it be someone who actually has case studies on their YouTube channel or is actually posting videos of their own results. That's the only way to prove that they are actually legit, because most of these guys are a scam. The third mistake I see, most beginners treat it like a side hustle and not like a business. And I know it's not your fault who is watching this video. It's all the guys on YouTube who say you can make money dropshipping passively. I just saw that guy, what is he called? The old guy called Mark, I think. He posted a video a few weeks ago where he literally said that you can make money passively with dropshipping with AI. I commented on the video. Of course, he deleted my comment because I called him out, because it's literally fake. Like, those videos are so dangerous, not only for your mindset, but also how you treat your business in general, because it's not true. You won't be able to make it passively. You won't even be able to make it with AI alone. You need to build the foundation of your skills. And that's not an example here. I have seen many people across. I've been a little bit of a mentor, also just in general been in Michael Bernstein's program for over 2 years now. And I've seen many people join and not get success. And I've seen many people join and get super big success. And I would say the biggest difference in those two people is that the guy who got success were willing to put in much more work than the guy who didn't succeed. Of course, is there outlier stories of people who gets lucky and people who gets unlucky? Of course, that happens in business in general and in life. But in the most part, if we take the percentages, the guy who works harder is going to get better and faster results. There's literally people out there who expect to get success with dropshipping who works 1-2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm telling you right now, those people will never ever get success. It's not possible because it's not the reality of it. It's very hard. It's very competitive. You need to be working day and night. You need to be working harder than everyone else to get the results that everyone wants. And just in general, the raw reality of dropshipping is it takes countless of hours, countless of sleepless nights, countless of frustrations, and just in general hard work to even get the most glimpse of success. But when you get that glimpse of success, you start to build what is called momentum. Things will get easier from that point on. Or not easier, but you'll get more successful, which will make it easier for you to keep going through that storm. So if you want it to work, you need to work for it. It's just like getting in shape. I know I don't look like your typical bodybuilder, but trust me, back in the day I was very ripped. I'll probably put a little picture up here. I might get back into that shape now. It's literally the same thing. So I'm telling you right now, if you are a guy who is into fitness and bodybuilding in general, you will have the easiest time in business because it's the exact same thing. It takes the same discipline, it takes the same amount of hard work, and it takes the same amount of time as getting into really good shape to build a business. The fourth mistake I see beginners make is literally don't know anything about metrics or accounting in general. I don't know how this is possible. I thought it was some kind of common knowledge. Apparently it's not. I've learned that over the years of seeing people in general. If you start out with Facebook dropshipping and dropshipping in general, and you do not know how to do simple profit tracking and simple math, I'm very sorry, you're gonna have a very hard time, because doing your profit tracking is the number one thing with Facebook to make sure that you're profitable. And the number two thing also with Facebook is understanding the numbers Facebook display you. Most people don't understand it, and that is fair enough because it's very complicated. There's a bunch of different numbers, but you need to find out what those numbers mean, because if you know exactly the 5 metrics you need to look for on Facebook and you know how to optimize for them, and you can figure that one out, how do you think you will do on Facebook? You'll do very well. I'll just go over right now the most common metrics that you need to look out for on Facebook, besides of course your ROAS and your cost per purchase or your CPA, cost per acquisition. Of course, those are the most two important metrics, because in general, if you have the super high ROAS, who cares about the other metrics, then you are very profitable. So besides those two metrics, those are of course the most important ones, but those two metrics based out of a lot of other metrics on Facebook and your store as well. But to keep it simple right now, I'm just going to go over the most important metrics on Facebook that you always need to look out for and always need to analyze whenever you're launching a new product or testing creatives. The first metric I want to talk about is your CPM. And your CPM is basically what you pay for 1,000 eyeballs on Facebook. And this can vary a lot depending on what niche you're in, what product you're selling, and your ad account and page in general. But this is a little more advanced. So let's just talk about the product. The CPM is higher depending on how competitive your niche is. So if you're running, let's say, beauty on Facebook, your CPM will be much higher than if you're running a dog product. Probably gonna be twice or even 2.5 as high, because it's just more competitive. There's more brands on Facebook doing beauty products. It shouldn't scare you, it's fine. Just keep that one in mind, that the CPM varies a lot on the niche you're in. So it shouldn't be like that if you saw some guy saying, oh, you should always aim for around $20 CPM. That's simply not possible with beauty. You can get a $20 CPM with beauty products on Facebook. You'll never be able to do that. Maybe if you're one of the biggest brands in the world, you could get close to 20, but you won't get to 20. Probably more looking at 25 to 40, I would say, is probably a good metric to look for in beauty. Beauty, health, everything that relates to that area, you're probably looking at that kind of CPM. If you go more into smaller and less competitive niches, such as house products, baby, dog, cat, etc., you're looking from anywhere from $10 to 25 as well. The CPM is also made up from how much people resonate with your product and your angle and your creative. So the better the creative are, the more people in the audience resonate with the creative, the lower your CPM will also get, because Facebook will push it to more people, because more people will click on it and more people will buy from from it. There's also one thing to keep in mind. So that is basically what your CPM is made out from. Of course, if you're running a very saturated product that there are hundreds of people running on Facebook, your CPM will also be higher because Facebook will recognize this. But that is basically what your CPM is made from. It's not the most important metric, but it's just good to know that it's down because this metric dictates other very important metrics. So the first very important metric I want to talk about is the CPC. Basically on Facebook, you will see a few different CPCs. There's one that's called CPC All, CPC Unique. I would only suggest that you look at the CPC Unique because that's basically what you pay to get a customer to the website. Usually this is also very depending. You need to understand if it's low or high. This is really depending on your AOV and your conversion rate. Let's say you have $1 CPC, but you have 5% conversion rate. So if you pay $100, you get 5 sales. So if you have an AOV of, let's say, $50, you will have a 2.5 ROAS, which in most cases is very profitable. That's a little bit high advanced math, I get that. But just keep in mind that a CPC is only an important metric compared to your other metrics, but it's very good to track. And a good CPC, I would say right now, depending on the niche, of course, is generally below $1. It's all depending on the products you run. But generally, I like to see below $1 CPC because most of the times then I will know I will be able to make everything else profitable as long as I have below $1 CPC. The click-through rate is the next metric I want to talk about. It's basically the percentage of people who see your ad that clicks into your website. This click-through rate and the CPM is what dictates the CPC. And why it's very important to look at this is because generally a low click-through rate usually means that your ad is very weak or your offer is very weak. This is the two things you can really see out of your click-through rate. The fourth metric I would suggest you to look at is the hook rate. And I know most people don't even talk about the hook rate because most people haven't advertised, most gurus don't advertise on Facebook because they don't even run products. But the hook rate basically means how many people watch the entirety of your hook. So if you have a very low hook rate, it probably means that you should switch up your hook. Because generally, if you have a higher hook rate, the chance of people watching through the entire video is higher. So the CPC also gets lower and your click-through rate also gets lower. So I hope you understand that every single metric is actually connected. So you have to analyze them together with everyone, but also analyze them one by one, of course. And just to ramp up, the fifth metric I want to talk about briefly again is the CPP or the CPA, which is basically made out of every single metric that you have. Your CPC, your conversion rate, your CPM, everything is what dictates the CPP. And CPP is the most important metric because if you are just like me, I have some screenshots with some insane customer purchases where I literally pay like $2-3 for a customer. That is the most insane metric you can see. If you have that, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. If you have below, it depends on your AOV again, but below $5 cost per purchase, it's game over. It's a winning product. You can scale this to insane numbers because that's so hard to obtain. These are one of the things that has been a pattern for all my winning products is when I first launch it and it goes live on Facebook, the CPP is so insanely low, like below $5. It just means that it's go time and you'll make a shit ton on that product. These were just briefly talking about the 5 metrics that are very important to look out for when you're testing and scaling. Of course, it's not the full story. It's very more advanced than that, but it's just to give you a idea of what it is you're looking for. And then whenever you're testing things, you can kind of look out for yourself when something is good. What is the metric? That's how you can analyze it yourself. The fifth thing, and this is also very common, and this is, in my opinion, the weirdest mistake people do, trying to outsource things before you're ready. And I don't know why people think that it's a good idea. Like I don't think anybody is saying this. Of course, there's these AI builders and general people saying use viral e-commerce and all this stupid shit. Do not outsource things before you can do it perfectly yourself. This is the most mandatory thing and the most important thing about business in general. I do get the idea of the whole thing of outsourcing everything to begin with and just sitting on the beach and fucking around for 1-2 hours a day and just having people do your stuff. That's amazing. Of course, yeah, sure. Sounds great. But the reality for most of us is that A, it will never happen, or B, it happens so many years in the future that you shouldn't even think about it. So understand this concept here. Before you outsource something, you should be perfect at it. Because if you don't know how to make good creatives, how will you ever know the guy you hired is making good creatives? If it's not working, none of you true bots will know what's going on. So it annoys the fuck out of me that these other gurus will tell you to use their AI store builder or use viral e-commerce. No, bro, you shouldn't do that. It's the most stupidest shit I've ever heard. Like, it actually pisses me off. Of course, can it be good sometimes to buy a viral e-com app bundle? Sure, but you should never rely on them. You should only buy them to see how they would do it and try and analyze it. Because this whole thing about business is not about making money in the first place. It's about getting the skills that can make you money in the long term. That's what you need to understand. So if you have the skills, outsourcing it, whenever you have made money, it only gets easier and cheaper because you don't have to hire the best, because you can literally teach them. And you already made money, so you can afford to hire people. So don't outsource just to outsource. Perfect it and then outsource. I hope if you watched the full video, you were able to learn a few things from this one. And if you already were a little bit more experienced in dropshipping, I hope I gave you a little bit of a laugh that you did some of these mistakes in the past. I literally made all these mistakes in the past, so I couldn't blame you if you have done them or are doing them right now. If you did, let me know in the comments. Let's start up a conversation about this. It's a quite funny topic to me. And of course, as always, I believe in you and good luck.